And yeah, thank you, Cici. Let me start sharing and give you bit self-introduction first. So hello, everyone. Yeah, you can call me Elva. And yeah, you can find me in Instagram through the Yellow Ollie and also follow our MC Instagram account. Yeah, I'm here because, you know, this session, it's, I believe it will be a good time for me to reconsider, rethink, relearn about our asset value. And throughout the preparation, I really feel that I feel more connected and feel have a thoroughly, how to say, reflect on my past experience and MCP. So hopefully together with me, you can also gain some new insights, new attitudes towards this asset value acting sustainably. And to give a bit of information of myself, I joined in ISAC back in 2016. I think I'm the oldest here. Yeah, and I did a volunteer exchange in Sri Lanka. Yeah, I cannot see. Do we have Sri Lanka MCP here? Okay, seems not. Fine. Yeah, I think I had a Okay, I think I had very great time there. We have Cici from Sri Lanka, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I had really good time there. And then I decided to continue my ISAC experience. And back in 2019, I got elected as LCP for ISAC in Sisu. And then, you know, 2020 comes, a very tough year, but still I feel connected with here because I see the difficult time, but group members from ISAC or even ISAC alumni still trying to get together and find some solutions to support each other. So I decided to you know, run for MC. I was MC VP marketing. I've changed a bit of my JDs throughout the term. Yeah, I did something about BD, you know, to have partnership and also to have more JD related to network. So it has been changed a little bit. And then currently I'm the MCP of ISAC in mainland of China. So again, welcome all of entities MCP elect here. So you can also share me why are you here? Like, what's your expectation towards this session? Yeah, maybe you can just open mic or share in the chat box. Yeah. Why do you want to be here to listen to something related to acting sustainably? Are you trying to type? Or you can feel very welcome to open the mic, just speak out. Okay, to make decision for long term, it is important for you, right? Cool. So before we, you know, dive into the topic, I also have two very simple, yeah, to understand the effects that the decisions we take will have on the entity and long-term consequences. Okay, very deep one. Okay, before I officially start, I have two, you know, simple expectations on everyone. Like, first, hope you do understand it's a lead session. What does a lead session mean? I think, you know, from my understanding, I hope everyone can feel free to express your thoughts and to take time to really think and maybe to write down some of your thoughts so you can, you know, look it over and to make long-term decision after the session. Yeah. And also feel welcome to open your mic and camera to interact more with me as well as other, you know, delegates here. And yeah, let's begin with this question. Yeah. So what's your current understanding of acting sustainably? I see from the question answers in the chat box, someone have already mentioned this too. First, like under each asset values, we usually have two related skills, or let's say methods, to drive everyday actions towards that value. So under acting sustainably, I believe there are two sentences, two skills. One is about making long-term decision, to have long-term strategic planning, and also in the meanwhile it requires a lot of analytical thinking, right? And in the meanwhile, it's also about managing resources sustainably. And the tool behind it will be prioritizing your action, your daily task, your to-dos, right? So I believe that throughout the RPM sessions, as well as I think some of you may attend the CEO 19 Days Challenge, the group learning activities before. So you must have learned some tools about how to, make long-term decision or how to manage your resources. But today it's not only about tools, because sometimes our mindset behind is more important. It drives you how you act, how you behave, especially under pressure. So I think most of you here would bring this question with you into my session. So how can we really act sustainably? The answer from a very famous book writer, a theory, it's called Infinite Gain. So I think having an infinite mindset is a key, from the book written by Simon Sinek. The following session will be something, shared by him, and also restructured somehow by me, and added some my personal experience as MCP to together share with you and discuss with you. So in this session, you will learn some of the key concepts of embracing an infinite mindset within Isaac, and hopefully, since the time limits, so hopefully after session you can think how you can ultimately bring this kind of mindset in your everyday life, into your personal life, so it's more become part of you. Okay, let me know how many of you have already heard the concepts of finite and infinite gain. If you have heard it, you can type 1. If you never know about this stuff, you can, just type 2. Okay. Have you heard about this, opposite concept before? Or something related? Yes. Okay, cool. So from Myanmar, thank you. How about others? Okay, in case someone here don't know, let's to look at these two concepts first. So these are the two examples of very classic finite game and also infinite game. So so maybe can you share a bit on what's the features of these two categories, or two opposite concepts? Why a football can be called a finite game, and why Lego is infinite game from your understanding? Are you able to share with us? Maybe some just keywords. Okay, actually, let's think about the football game. Okay, so it's actually each team, right? For a football competition, we will have two teams, and each team has around 11 players. on the pitch and they all agree on the game rules, which be you score by kicking the ball into the goal, and the team with the most goals win. Once the time limit is up, then the whole game just ends, and there must be a winner, right? So yeah, it's quite simple that for a finance game, the players are known, the rules are fixed, and there must have a end point. The end point is very clear to everyone playing in the game. So on the opposite part, what about an infinite game? So yeah, it is also very clear, like in Lego, everyone can play Lego, right? And there are no fixed rules that, with this kind of cubes, you can only build trees or you can only build flowers, mansions. Yeah, so a lot of creatives can be made upon on the elements of Lego, and there's no, how to say, a defined success in this game. So actually we can see these two images. It is very clear that a finance game will have a start and also have an end very clearly. And for infinite game, actually it's more like an infinite image here, right? So education, business, and even life, although life, everyone have an end time, everyone will die, but actually there's, just like business, there's no, how to say, word rule on what kind of business is successful, is successful enough to win another one. Shall we combine it by the market share, or by the profit, or by the impact, by the employment number? So it's no fixed rules to define what kind of education, business, or life is successful enough. So what is, yes, so this all, I think it can be included in infinite game, right? So the sole purpose of playing an infinite game is to perpetuate the game. So I think these two concepts is very important to keep in mind, because when we realize actually what we are doing, I said, is also an infinite game. So when we bring a finite mindset towards the game, it would be very harmful, right? So next I will share a bit of the 5 concepts, how to embrace an infinite game and how to really connect it with Isaac. The first step, and very important one, is to have a just cause. Okay, a just cause, what does it mean? Like, does it equals to vision? Yeah, I think because in essay we to most of circumstances or a lot of situations, we will start with our vision, right? But actually there is no defined definition for vision. Some people, some businessmen would say, I want to earn 2,000 million US dollars for my enterprise. So for this, we don't call it a just cause. It can be called a vision, but it's not a just cause. So I think the just cause here are more like a dream, are more like a word you envision yourself to live in. So a just cause is a purpose, which is just so justified that you would sacrifice to be part of it. Okay, and there are 5 criteria to find just cause. The first one is it has to be for something. It's optimistic and also be inclusive enough to engage everyone to contribute. And also it's service oriented. It's not for just profit or for some personal interest, group interest. And also it can be resilient enough to endure the change, to endure the different context. And also sometimes it may be a bit idealistic, yeah, to be big and unachievable, if I have to say. So Now I would like to ask, do you think is ISAC vision, like everyone here, I think must know we strive for peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. Do you think it's an appealing just cause to you? You know, you as MCP. Maybe you can share a bit in the chat box again. Is that something you are chased for in this infinite game? Do you think it can be called a just cause for every ISACer? If you feel so, maybe you can put yes. Yeah, and if you think there might be something to change or be according to the context, you can also raise your ideas. Okay, I think let's come. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kanil from Sri Lanka. And yeah, I believe most of us, or let's say everyone here, are very so much connected with the vision we have here, the just cause we have here, fulfillment of humankind's potential, to really believe that everyone can develop leadership, and leadership is fundamental solution to a better world. So that's how I was, feel connected with ISA as well. And let's come to a smaller question here, because it's not only about all about the organization itself. It can be about you, after ISAC or in your other role in your life. What do you believe in? What's your just cause? And I think here we can have 3 minutes for you to write it down. Yeah. And share a bit around. Okay, I will play a music here. Okay, sorry. Can you hear the voice now? Great. Yeah, while you are typing or writing down, I can also share a bit of my thoughts here. So when I just entered ISAC, I think my personal just cause will be to reduce misunderstanding between people, to eliminate the discrimination. So it's after I know there is an organization called ISA youth organization, that I feel it's quite how to say, connected with my personal belief. And then through my engagement, how to say, participation deeply in AIESEC, to have a team, to be team leader, to be LCVP, and then LCP. I think the reason why I want to go further to apply for a higher position is also because my personal just cause, my personal belief somehow is also to be involved in something bigger than myself. It's not just about my scores. It's not just about my GPAs. It's not just about how my personal development will be after the journey. It's more about, you know, how I can contribute in my society to a bigger world. So I think it's also, you know, aligned with what I was doing in AIESEC. Yeah, and now I think it can be more, you know, simple, to simplify the sentence to my just cause will be to always bring people around the positive impact. I think it is very important to me. And yeah, sometimes your belief or your just cause can, you know, slightly change a little bit. And maybe I would like to hear some of your thoughts here. What's your just cause? Does it connect it with AIESEC vision? Okay, maybe we take, yeah, Zoe, please share.
Okay, I think the first one is about like limit. I think I want to go like beyond limits. So and I think like one of my favorite quote like something like that about like Asia Pacific's like limitless, right? I want to,
Yeah.
I want to go beyond my limit. So I mean, like, and I always thinking what limit me to become limitless. So I want to go like more extra miles and like for my personal, like as you said before, like not only about my education, not about my like business or anything. Like I want to go like what is the limitation on me, and also how can I be like go farther and more mine. So this is mainly about me. The selfish reason is about that. And other things about that, pretty much the same as you, is about the impact. So like beyond myself, like what kind of like impact can I bring to my society? And I know like there's like no place called perfect, like the perfect world. Like there's somewhere needed in our society or in our like place or anywhere. So I believe that I could bring some kind of positive impact to my society and also at least to the group of people. That's my thought, and this would be like my main just cause. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think, you know, it sounds a bit similar and to mine. And also, yeah, if you already write it down, you can feel free to share in the chat box. Okay, to take a look on each other's just cause. Why are you here? And next question. Okay, so it is very important for us to have a just cause? Whether do you believe in the current Isaac vision, and whether your self-just cause aligned with it is very important. And the second question, let me ask, because here we have the MCP elect here, right? So what kind of MC you made in the process of selecting your team? So tell me, give me some descriptions on what kind of MC do you want to have. I can give you some, words for reference. It's a table from Jahari window. Yeah. Can you just type some of the keywords of your team, ideal team, to carry on the just cause? What kind of characteristics are most important for a team? Yeah, because we always say, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go further, you go with a team, right? To play an infinite game, especially in Isaac, yeah, we always have a team. Like for you as MCP, the direct team you manage, you lead will be MC team. So for you, what kind of features do you want to have? What kind of members features do you want to have in your team? Can you pick a word or some words of it? You can just share in the chat box. Okay, energetic, confident, cool. How about Camille and others? Let me see. So, logical, sensible, kind. Okay. Independent, confident, responsible. Okay, here in the series of playing infinite game, I think I will mention this word. It's also mentioned by Simon Sinek. It's called trustworthy. So the second step of having to play well in an infinite game will be building a trusting team. And I think many of us would think, because I believe we know, like in the TM process, to have a team will be, to let them perform well, right? We would like to see the performance is higher, is going high, and also our member are performing. So does it related to trust, or it goes opposite with the trust? Let's take a look at the video. This video.
I've worked with the Navy, and I asked them, like, how do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team 6, right? Because they're the best of the best, the best, the best. And they drew a graph for me, and on one side they wrote the word performance, and on the other side they wrote the word trust. The way they define the terms is performance on the battlefield and performance off the battlefield. So this is your skills. This is, did you make your quarterly earnings, whatever, however you want to translate it, right? Performance, it's traditional. This is, how are you off the battlefield? What kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust, of course. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important than this person. And the problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance, and negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness. And so what we end up doing is promoting or bonusing toxicity in our businesses, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. The irony is, it's unbelievably easy to find these people. Go to any team and say, who's the asshole? And they'll... they will all point to the same person. Equally, if you go to any team and say, who do you trust more than anybody else? Who's always got your back? And when the chips are down, they will be there with you. They will also all point to the same person. It's the best gifted natural leader who's creating an environment for everybody else to succeed, and they may not be your most individual highest performer. But that person, you better keep them on your team.
Yeah, I think it gives us some tips on, the balance between performance and as well as the trust, right? And a key message in the video, I think the performance, sometimes it can be, a high performer can be toxic to your team. And to have this, dimensions here, performance is how you are at work, and the trust is how you are out of the work. So the question comes naturally that how do we identify or how do we foster a trusting team? Yeah. Are there any possible solutions that can increase the trust within your team? Do you have the past experience? Maybe you can share a little bit what's on your thoughts now, because sometimes we want to hire or find the top performer, and while in the team they can be a boiler, or sometimes very harmful to the team. So it is very important for a leader to increase the environment which everyone can trust each other. Yeah. So is there any possible solution that come into your mind can foster this kind of atmosphere to let people be the best of themselves naturally? Yeah. Can we have some sharing here? Yeah, transparency, very important. To have transparent communications, decision-making process within the team, to involving them, in the decision-making process. How do you identify when the trustness level of your team is low? How do you find out that? Do you think there is any signals of that? Feedback culture, cool. So let me provide with you some, signs that can, for you to judge, for you to think about whether your team before or the team you are going to form later are a trusting team or not. So there are some points, like to make everyone feel free to review themselves, and behind that will be some something like are they are my teammates, are my team member easily or feel free to admit their mistakes, because there is impossible for one to not making any mistakes. Yeah. And the second, are my team members decisive, confident enough to make their decision on their function, work, or their responsibilities? The third, do they ask for feedbacks? Do they ask for their teammates to give feedback on them, or do they freely give their feedbacks to others? And do they have the eager to improve the work or improve the work of themselves or the team? And then if all the criteria there, you can feel very supportive, and the people in your team will not only feel a sense of responsibility because I have to finish my work, but rather than we can feel a sense of owning because they think this team are also contributed by themselves. Yeah. So the third element, to play in an infinite game, to identify a worthy rival. Okay, Very interesting one, huh? So as sometimes we will call another words like competitor. Is there any difference you can see between a competitor and a worthy rival? Let me share a news I heard recently, days ago. So Meta, the Facebook changed the group name, right? Meta, they announced they would like to share the open pre-trained transformer to all, like to all the people in this industry, and they would love to share the logic and the codes behind. Sometimes it will be, you know, impossible for one to think. It can be a business secret, right? If you share this kind of stuff, then your competitor may win over you. But why? Like, why do they decide to open this kind of source? I think it's also related to the infinite mindset, because in an infinite mindset, they don't see each other only competitor, but also worthy rival, because with worthy rival, you would like to share information. You would like to share for better play the game, to explore the affinity, right? And of course, the goal in the game here is not to beat anyone, to beat Microsoft or beat any other, you know, high-tech company, but it's about to improve and stay in the game as long as possible. So the company would decide to share this kind of very secret information. And now comes the question, who is your rival? You know, within the ISAC context, as MCP, who is the worthy rival to keep you going on? Do you have any entity or any external organization you will constantly compare yourself or your entity to? And the question behind will be, what kind of strengths do you see in them that may be your weaknesses? I think this is always, you know, very important, because sometimes we will focus too much only on ourselves. Yeah. So here I would like to have a few minutes to, you know, here is an example from MOC. It's from our meeting with ISAC in Japan, and my successor shares some of our strengths and weaknesses. And here in the session, I think it's because you are new elected MCP, right? Sometimes you don't, you know, have much information about other entities. And it's worth some time for you to find worthy rival during your term, no matter it's inside the organization or it's outside of it. So let's take some time here to share a bit of our weaknesses and strengths, of course, in our entity. Yeah, you can go to this slide, and there will be some open space for you to share. Okay, you can have 5 minutes at maximum to fill out. Can you have access to the link? So can you open the link? Okay, cool. Then I will also play some music while you are. Thank you, lovely Cici. Okay, time's up. No, because of the time limits, I don't think we have enough time for everyone to share on. But I think the records will be there, and I will strongly recommend maybe. Especially for who come to my tribe here, you can share a little bit more with each other's strengths and weaknesses. Then you know who to ask from and who can share more information. So while we are, I like you to write down this kind of things because besides that, there is a concept I would like to share with you. Like sometimes we would ask, is there any single thing that definitely will become more valuable with time passing and with less effort? Do you believe there exists this kind of thing? Okay, I will tell you a story. Like there is an investor in Shanghai who wanted to help the poor. So instead of just giving money directly to the farmer, he decided to buy 200,000 samplings of golden hazard trees, the small tree seeds, and to give them to the farmer in the mountains of Sichuan for free, so that they can plant them in front of their houses and on the roadside. And the man gave the samplings to the villagers for free on one condition. They were not allowed to be sold in short term after planting. And the golden rod is an extremely valuable word. So, but it takes decades to grow into a timber, right? Timber. And so in the past, only people cut it down, but no one planted. The villagers planted 100 trees in front of their houses, which will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, which will be worth in the future. So making it a green bank for the villager. So is it interesting that you don't worry about the trees during these decades, but with the time passing by, it will be even more valuable. So I think in MOC, we sometimes called ISAC the second university for ourselves. So why? Because you don't only have your schoolmates, you don't only have your classmates of your own, real university, but you have a group of people here. When you are suffering the decision of your entity to make strategy work, to make everyone feel engaged in the network, another people from other cultural background, they also strive to do the same thing. And along the way, you share, although you didn't take care of him or her, right? But it actually can be the very amount of worth for you, because with the time passing, you invest in you and in your entity, and others invest in theirs. And years later, or within this whole year, you can share with each other. So that's how the worthy rival is. And the fourth one, to demonstrate existential flexibility. It's very, to put it in the simple way, I think it can be included as the existential flexibility describes the ability to make profound changes towards your strategic direction in order to advance your just cause. It's not just about short-term goals to earn money, to do certain campaign. So that is to keep why as the constant, and don't be afraid of challenging how. So it also connects a lot with the fifth one, to have courage to lead, because to make the existential flexibility, to change your strategic direction, it actually takes courage, right? To say, stop there. So we need to have a conversation or have a review on how we are doing this. I would like to share a bit of my story. So a brief background for you for Isaac, about Isaac in MOC. So back in term 1890, we ranked global number 5 in terms of exchange. And then suddenly in 2019 summer, we disclosed all LCs. And that also means we cannot operate as usual. And then 1 year later, 2020 summer, we got our first temporary registration under the international NGO law. So, but in the meanwhile, still we cannot incur money in China. So for me, with this context, with this bottlenecks here, my missions, I believe, when I was elected, was to stabilize the source of income. Otherwise, we will run out of money. We don't have any MOCR, right? And also, I need to reduce expenditure to achieve that goal. It's all about money for me that time. So, but there, so that's how we plan our goal. To plan our initial team planning. But there was a day that it comes to me to remind me that the change is unavoidable, because one of my MCVP said I can no longer stand the role as full-time IT for a partner delivery for Huawei. She said it's driving me crazy. I cannot take this role as MCVP anymore. Okay, I said I understood, but it's also the main revenue stream, as we agreed in the team planning, right? We have to have delivery for that case so that we can have enough money to operate on. So, but I understood what you are saying. Let's have a meeting. After having the meeting, we have some team agreements. To have money, of course, it's important, because I have to pay MC when they decided to run for MCVP. I said they will be paid, so I have to deliver my promise. But there was something in behind. We cannot fulfill other roles, like to develop EVA, to go other initiatives. So after this, we came together to have a team agreement to do what really connect with our essence, because deliver that one, we cannot connect with our network, cannot move forward, though it can bring us money. Yeah, and also we decide to focus more on cross-cultural understanding, because we think the current global context, we really need that. So that's why we decided to put more effort on our initiative, national initiative, the Global Youth Dialogue. And in the past year, we can develop more than 3,000 participants with very high NPS. And with more efforts, we decide to improve more IR, to have more partnership on this, because we think it can really long term, although in the short term, it cannot bring us money. But in the long term, that's why we are doing Isaac. Yeah, I know, like currently the pandemic, the COVID situation still be a, consideration effects for many MCP. Remember this, what you choose to do always reflects what your just cause is. We are here not only to fight against COVID, but to protect, but to advance our just cause. Okay, to review again, what are the 5 elements to be an infinite game player? First, to have a just cause. Then you have to have a trusting team to go together with you. The third, identify or to cultivate a worthy rival. It keeps you going. And the third and the fourth and fifth, to really have the courage to lead, to make decision, to change your plan according to the context. Yeah. And I think someone may ask, in an infinite game, of course, we still have some battles to win. To give an example, actually, it's also our theme, right? So infinite game can be for Avengers, can be win Thanos to stop them from collecting the stones, Infinity Stones, and from destroying the universe. And the infinite game for them will be to protect humans from all attacks from the universe. And Thanos may be just one competitor there. So here maybe you can think about what kind of things you feel most connected with in those 5 steps. And maybe it's time for you to share a bit of your feelings here. Which of the 5 steps do you feel most echo with, or you feel you need to, put more effort on afterwards? You are very welcome to just open mic and to have some share with your teammates here. Or you can, type again in the chat box. Okay, maybe you need more time to think on it, right? To be very on time, I think the last message I want to share with you is to make ISA sustainable, to make your entity sustainable. It means not only means, to have the long-term decision, but also it's about make constant improvement. When you decide everything, to think about it, behind it, are my decision contribute to the constant improvement of myself or to my entity? Yeah, don't be afraid. I think because you are born for this, you are born to every one of us can make constant improvement, not only on us but also on our entity. So really believe that, and I hope everyone can enjoy your MCP term. Yeah, thank you.